All right, from a personal standpoint, I have always hated that, the saying, there's a silver lining in it. I feel like it really degrades and diminishes the struggles that you or I or we may be actually going through. I feel like it just kind of numbs the pain that some people might be doing because there's always a silver lining and everything, right? But that said, I think that one thing that the lockdowns and the pandemic have really kind of brought out is actually the conversation of mental health. So, I think looking back to my time, maybe in the army, and that was like if you went to go see a counselor, if you went to go talk to the chaplain, if you went to go seek a counselor for mental health, it was almost like a sign of weakness. It was like you weren't being man enough. It was like there was a stigma around getting help, which is actually kind of a really sad thing. But I feel like this has shifted in the past couple of years, and I think even more so this past year. And I think some companies are actually embracing this. There's actually a recent report that came out by Unmind and the Wellness Council of America, and it highlighted the burnout and actually the mental health concerns by employees and employers. And actually, as Dr. Nick Taylor, he's the CEO and co-founder of Unmind, as he stated, employees are finding it difficult to cope day to day. But the silver lining, there's that term, is that the topic of mental health has been brought to the forefront of our conversations. And now there's actually a huge demand for mental health support in the workplace. All right, so what are some things that this report brings up? I mean, what are some of the things that employers and employees are saying? Well, 90% of employers have stated that they're actually concerned about their employees existing and experiencing burnout. And 45% of employees have experienced burnout in the last 12 months. And 38% say that mental health has actually negatively affected and impacted by COVID. Now, what about this whole work-life balance thing, right? 64% of employees have actually seen an increase in working hours. The majority of that group say that they've seen an increase at about 10 to 24%, and 18% saw about a 25 to 49% increase in working hours. And crazily enough, 2% actually said that their work hours have actually increased by over 50%. All right, so what do we do now? And what's the way forward, right? And I'll shut this thing down with some closing stats. 65% of employers believe that mental health will negatively impact their business over the next 12 months. 93% of those employers believe that employee mental health and well-being support will be critical to not just keeping top talent, but actually getting and attracting top talent and retaining them. But there still is a big disconnect. In fact, senior leadership buy-in and the lack of budget are still the main reasons cited for not having a mental health strategy in place. So actually, I find it quite odd and concerning that leaders are so quick to acknowledge and quick to say that there is a problem. Yet, leadership doesn't afford funds to actually help address the problem. They don't actually, put a plan in place to actually address this. They're not actually going out there and saying, hey, look, we acknowledge this problem, let's do something about it. And so a lot of times that is just by checking in. And so I recommend everybody, watching this right here, that you actually go out there and give some phone calls today. Go and check in with your peers. Go and, if you're a leader, check in with your team. Don't talk about work. Just talk about how are you doing? How are you doing as a person? How is the family going? And I think that helps out a lot because I think that helps break people out of the mold. But I think that until we actually put funds to the problem, until we actually directly address the issue, we'll continue to have these conversations, and before you know it, it'll be 90% of employers saying that there is a problem, and still that 14% still won't put budget to it. So I hope this does change, and I hope this does kind of highlight some of the things that are going on in the workplace. I know we've all felt it. We've probably all been part of a burnout. A lot of times we just don't admit it because we're just going through the daily routine of life. So do wish you and yours best health and safety and wellness. Be well, be awesome. Take care. Bye.